explosive guy, a weapon that you can add and get into the mix.
Silky smooth route runner, high volume guy.
With the third pick, the New England Patriots select.
What's up, everybody? It's Mike Dussault and Evan Lazar, and we are here. Evan, this is exciting. Our first mock draft of the 2024 NFL draft season. Very exciting. Of course, this is way too early to be doing a mock draft because we haven't had free agency yet. We haven't had really much time to scout all these prospects, but we're just giving you a first general kind of overview of how things maybe could go, maybe laying out some different paths. So if you get too mad about this mock draft, don't add us, right? So let's jump right in, and you can take a look at. We're going to talk about our first overall picks at the end to really give you some insight into those picks. So Evan, why don't you just jump in here? These are our first 2 days of picks, rounds 2 and 3 and 4. What do you got going on?
Well, I think we both kind of took the popular angle here of either Marvin Harrison Jr. or a quarterback. Like, those are the two picks that everybody is looking at. And I took Drake Maye in this first mock. I just look at what the Commanders have done with Cliff Kingsbury. It does scream Jayden Daniels to me. I don't know if that's how it's going to end up, but the dual threat, the mobility, that's a college-style offense. I could see them really gravitating towards Jayden Daniels. What I like about Drake Maye is that he's got some of that traditional NFL pocket passer with some mobility and toughness and that ability to extend plays, which we know is just so crucial nowadays. But some of these other picks, because we'll get back to Drake Maye, Jordan Morgan measured in a little bit short at the combine, at the Senior Bowl, but I really like a lot of his traits in this Alex Van Pelt scheme. Comes quickly out of his stance, has good feet, really strong at the point of attack, really strong run blocker, upper body strength. You're going to put him in that outside zone scheme that I think they're going to run a lot more of now. He definitely fits the bill at left tackle, and that's another thing. You look at a lot of these guys in this range at the tackle position, not all of them can play left tackle. A lot of right tackles in that 30 to 50 range. So Jordan Morgan's one of those guys that has played left tackle in college. Roman Wilson, I love Roman Wilson. I saw him down in Mobile. I think he has a lot of the same traits as Amon-Ra St. Brown. Shifty, quick, good with the ball in his hands, silky smooth route runner, high volume guy. Not necessarily that big outside X receiver, but somebody that could catch 100 balls for this team, and I think that's something that they could desperately need. And I went with a little bit of an undersized tackle with Jordan Morgan, so I doubled up with Christian Jones, who is a behemoth from Texas, 6'8", 330 pounds, 36-inch arms. Like, this is a giant of a man. So I look at a lot of guys last year that we like, DeJuan Jones. They have somebody in-house in Trent Brown that's that size. I think that is a nice bookend here of smaller athletic tackle for that zone scheme and the bigger Patriots gap style tackle later on.
I like you too. Obviously, we're very similar with the kind of positions here that we're working on. Get to Marvin Harrison here at the end, but I mean, just look, you're sitting at 3. Marvin Harrison's available. I know the talk about you can't build a team this way. You can't take that receiver first, but he was there. I'm going to take him. Maye and Caleb Williams were gone in the mock draft I did, so I totally agree with your pick on Maye. Great fit. But moving down, look, Michael Penix, he was in my mock draft. He was there. I took him. I mean, this is, probably the best quarterback you're going to get if maybe you're in that early second round. Maybe you trade back up into the first to get Michael Penix. Obviously, the performance in the national championship game wasn't great down in the Senior Bowl. You were there. So there are some questions maybe that'll push Michael Penix down, but I still love the player. I think he's got a lot of talent.
A lot of moxie.
Throws lefty. I'll get over that, but had to take him sitting there. Now, this is the problem right here. Now, You saw him again. Now, he worked at guard, and everyone's going to be saying, geez, you're taking a guard center. These five position offensive line. Eventually, a little bit smaller on the smaller size, but athletic. I had to get one, though. Evan, you took Jordan Morgan. Those are the picks that can happen when you in that second round, but you feel kind of like you're watching the train go by with all these tackles. I've seen mock drafts with 9 tackles going in that first round. So a little bit of a leftover, a little bit of question, but a tough guy, a guy who's versatile. Probably not the best fit, but that's what I took. And lastly, I think running back's a huge need. When you talk about Alex Van Pelt coming in, how important the running back position is. We look at, Ramondre Stevenson, and who else? Is it going to be Zeke coming back? Bucky Irving, explosive guy, a weapon that you can add and get into the mix. Now, coming out of this, I'd love it. I mean, these two guys, I think, making a huge difference. We'll see maybe what will happen with Penix. So let's move on to the later rounds. These are where we get a little bit dicey.
Because I think you said something that really stood out to me.
Yeah.
When you do these mock drafts and you get into the simulators and things like that, the tackle parade does start to go really quickly. And I think that guys like a Tyler Guyton is who I really wanted to take here. But Tyler Guyton is going to go probably in the 20s somewhere. Amari Mims from Georgia, same thing, like probably in that 20s range. So if you're looking for the Patriots to be aggressive in this draft, I could see a trade up maybe from that 34th overall pick to late 20s, mid to late 20s to grab one of those real premium tackles that I just mentioned. But it does go quickly. Once you get through that first round, you're looking at some guys, I like Pooney, but, like you said, maybe more of a guard. Morgan, same thing, arm length, not ideal for a tackle. So you have to keep moving forward there. But let's go on to the next slide.
That's where it gets crazy now.
Yes.
So, of course, tight end, a huge need, and another position that, go ahead. I mean, this is one where you feel like there's not a lot there. It's not last year's draft. You're watching guys kind of go by hard here. We're already in the 5th round where we're getting to actually make. I mean, I'm all the way till the 7th on tight end.
Yeah, I tried everything I possibly could do to get Jatavian Sanders into this mock draft, but from Texas, obviously. But it's tough. It's tough to get him in there, like you said. Without free agency, until we know some of the holes that they've already taken care of in the veteran market, we'll see how high up the board tight end goes. But in Mobile, I thought Ben Sinnott really showed out well. Good hands, good route runner over the middle of the field. But he also has some versatility that I really like. Can play some fullback, H-back, also play that Y tight end role, so you can move him around a little bit. Dewan Edwards, another Mobile Senior Bowl standout. A little bit thicker lower body, but can catch the football. I think he can be a little bit more of a well-versed 3-down back going forward. And then Miles Cole, really good week down at the Senior Bowl. Length, very sturdy on the edge, and somebody that, edge defender, a sneaky little bit of a need. You don't know what's going to happen with Josh Uche and Anthony Jennings.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I kind of went similar. Hey, you threw one defender in there, Evan. I worked 2
in the 7th round.
In the 7th round.
To the 7th
that's
round.
where the Patriots are at. But similar kind of thinking here. And I look at the Patriots defensive line. Everybody is up next year. I mean, whether they extend Christian Barmore or not, I think that's a priority. But so far right now, Lawrence Guy, Devon Godchaux, Dietrich Wise, that whole group is up. I took this guy, Justin Ibobi, I think is really how you just found it. Of course, I was making it complicated on myself.
Yeah.
But a versatile up-front defender, can play a number of different spots. And, of course, we always know we like those Alabama guys. Jalen Simpson, what's going to happen with Kyle Duggar? Free safety type, versatile, plays a number of different spots in the secondary. Grabbed him. And lastly, I'm waiting till the end, grabbed TCU's Jared Wiley, another guy with some potential, maybe not the most shiftiest guy, but a big guy. He can block, he can run a little bit.
We almost had an overlap there. I had Wiley on my short list as well. I think he can play.
They got to get a tight end, but real quick in wrapping up, let's just take a final look here at our 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. I just couldn't go away from the quarterback. As much as I feel like there's definitely an argument to be made for going your route, Marvin Harrison Jr., Joe Alt, Penix maybe, Bo Nix, it just feels like either Jayden Daniels or Drake Maye is going to be staring at the Patriots on the clock at number 3, and how do you not take the guy? It just is really tempting, and I look at Drake Maye and I see that, like I said earlier, a great complementary skill set of some of the traditional stuff that they're still going to do with a coordinator like Alex Van Pelt, combined with some of that off-script mobility, arm talent magic that we see around the league.
I love it. I mean, most of the mock drafts I see, they're going Caleb Williams, Drake Maye every single time, but Drake Maye's sitting there at 3. I totally agree about going with him. In my mock, he wasn't there. I said, you know what? I'm sick of hearing about everybody complain about how do we get that number 1 wide receiver. Let's just take him. You get the number 3 overall pick. This is the consolation prize. Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, Evan, we've had some talks. I mean, maybe he's getting pushed a little bit by our friend from LSU as well. Malek Nabbers, neighbors, that's how we say it.
How do we say it?
Some very good receivers in this class, though. So it's, look, on one hand, let's grab this guy. But as we've seen the last few years, there are quality receivers all the way through the first 3 rounds of the draft.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our first mock draft. Of course, we will be back after free agency starts. We'll get a little bit better sense of the Patriots' needs. They could fill a lot of these holes in free agency. They've got money to burn, as Jerod Mayo said. So be sure to check out all our content on Patriots.com. Evan and I will be going out to the Combine. We'll have you covered there. Plenty of podcasts written. You know how we do draft here. We love it. We can't get enough. So check out Patriots.com for our full mock drafts. You'll get full write-ups on all these guys and what we see. So get ready for an exciting draft season here in 2024.